Cooper Flagg won the Rookie of the Year over Kon Knueppel. I've been saying all season long that I thought that he was the obvious choice. Doc Rivers, when he joined us at the end of the season, said, boy, you got to understand how Kon Knueppel changed the Hornets. He kind of changed their whole mindset and had that kind of impact on the team. Now, I had not heard that before, and I thought, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he surprised a lot of people. We expected Cooper Flagg to be really good, if not great. Kon Knueppel was like, man, that guy's pretty good. He's one of those guys when you watch, and then you watch again, and then you go, no, he's just good. And one of the best shooters in the game, we saw that, and they made the playoffs. Now, I think what hurt him, that play-in game where he played poorly, and I don't know if votes were in by then. They're supposed to be regular season. It's a regular season award. But Reggie Miller said a couple of weeks ago he was taking back his Rookie of the Year vote for Kon Knueppel because late in the season and certainly in that play-in game, he did not play well. Now, I don't know if other voters abandoned ship with Kon Knueppel, but it was still a really tight race, 26-point gap between the top two players for a Rookie of the Year. That's the smallest since the current format began in 2002. That was between Amari Stoudemire and Yao Ming. You know, Kon Knueppel set the rookie record for three-pointers. Cooper Flagg was so much more than that. When you watch Dallas, and I don't think he got enough recognition for the season that he had. He wasn't just a singular specialist as Kon Knueppel. Now, Knueppel's a really good player. He's one of those guys where you say, man, he's a little more athletic. No, he's athletic. He kind of sneaky. No, there's nothing sneaky. It's just Kon Knueppel can play. I'm going to blame Paulie for this. Paulie is the king of, he's kind of sneaky athletic.
When he got to Duke, Kon was like, well, he doesn't look like he can jump much. I don't know how you don't look like you can jump.
Yeah, he can play. He can play. But Cooper Flagg, with what he did this year, everybody knew you don't have Kyrie, you don't have AD, it's Cooper Flagg. You were gearing up for Cooper Flagg. And the guy put up tremendous numbers, 21 points, 6.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.2 steals per game. You know, he's just a little bit older than LeBron was when LeBron came in, like 6 days. And he put up numbers similar to LeBron. Flagg averaged more points, more rebounds, less assists, and less steals than LeBron did. He's only 19 coming into the league. And LeBron was 19 as well when he came in. It was just Flagg went that 1 year to Duke. He should have been in his senior year in high school, but he's playing as a freshman at Duke. But some of the other numbers, like Wemby's numbers were awesome. 21, 10, 3.5 blocks per game. Luka had great numbers. Blake Griffin when he won. Tyreek Evans had good numbers. Kevin Durant averaged 20. Tim Duncan, 21, 12, and 2.5 blocks. But those guys were, Tim Duncan played 4 years in college. Allen Iverson came in after a couple of years at Georgetown, averaged 23.5, 7 assists, 7.5. Shaq was 23.5 and 14 rebounds, 3.5 blocks per game. He had spent a couple of years in college as well. But I thought, and once again, I changed my vote when there was the Grant Hill Jason Kidd Rookie of the Year race. I changed it that morning. I was at NBA Entertainment, and I was doing Legends of the Game, greatest games in NBA history. And I kept going back and forth. And it ended up, it was a tie. The Rookie of the Year award was a tie between those two that year. I thought that there was going to be a tie this year. Not that they would have been an actual tie, but I thought, you know what? Maybe you give both of these teams, both of these players, the stage, the recognition, former teammates as well. But Cooper Flagg was the best rookie this year. And he was far more than just that. When you say to a 19-year-old, go out there and you got to get 25 a night. We need you to score. If Kon Knueppel hits 5 threes, we go, man, he added to his three-point total. Cooper Flagg had to go out and win games. Kon Knueppel didn't have to win. And look, what he did in any other year, he might win a Rookie of the Year. Not this year. Cooper Flagg was the best rookie by far, in my opinion. Yes, Marvin.
And I think Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis being out surged his Rookie of the Year candidacy because he had to put up those numbers. Now, if he put up the same numbers as Kon Knueppel did, the 18 points, he would have been Rookie of the Year easily because the Mavericks would have had a way better record than they did this season.
Yeah, and Cooper Flagg wouldn't have put up those numbers. I thought he was going to be a 15, 8, probably 5 guy at the most. And all of a sudden it's like, no, we need a whole lot more. We need a whole lot more from you. We need like everything you got. And if you're putting up 40 points in a few games, he had a few games where, 30 and 10, those things don't happen. So what he did was pretty spectacular. Yes, Marvin.
And he's probably more comfortable in his position because ever since he could touch a basketball, he's been the go-to guy on his team.
He had 6 games with at least 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. That's one more than everybody else in the rookie class combined.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day.
Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show. First hour brought to you by True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing the lawn yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider, the PGA Tour. Get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Sit back and relax. Got a poll question coming up. Stat of the day. Play of the day. All of that forthcoming. One more note on Cooper Flagg. Averaging 21, 6.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists per game. So he joins Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Luka as the only rookies since 1970 to average those numbers per game. And, when you think about Bird was probably 24 when he came in. Michael had spent a couple of years in college. And Luka, I don't know how old Luka was when he got here. Was he 20, Marvin?
I think he was 20, but he played like 8 years professionally in Europe. So
He did. All right. Dylan, what kind of poll question you got for me today to start out first hour?
Well, Dan, I was going to ask who deserved the NBA Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flagg or Kon Knueppel, but it sounds like that's pretty cut and dry.
Yes, it is.
If you took out that little run that Cooper Flagg had at the end of the season, though, he went like the 50, 40, 30 game.
Yeah, but I can't.
All right, hypothetically.
Like he did it. No,
he did do it.
No, he did it. So I can't take that out. And show me, rookies hit the wall. All these rookies normally hit the wall. They talk about it. There's a certain number of games, I don't know what it is. It might be 60 games or 50 games where they hit the wall. They're not used to playing this many games in a season. The fact that Cooper Flagg was that much better at the end of the year tells me an awful lot about him. Yes, Paulie.
I had that wall you talked about. In March, when Cooper Flagg got to game 50, for the next 3 weeks, he averaged 19 points a game. That was a dip because he was averaging like 22 before that. But the last 3 weeks of the season, he averaged 29 points per game. He also led the NBA in minutes the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a normal 19-year-old. And he's not sneaky athletic. He's going to be great. And I think if you watch him play, now, I'm going to be nitpicky here. I didn't like his jump shot when he was in college. But those are things you work on. I thought that, he wasn't a knockdown shooter. I'd love for him to study Kevin Durant and kind of get in that comfort zone in that 2-point range. Now, everybody wants to shoot threes, but I think he'll be able to get his shot because he can beat you off the dribble. He can take it to the hoop, but I thought his jump shot was a little slow. And once again, I'm just nitpicking here. But you get those go-to moves that everybody knows what you're going to do and they can't stop you. That's when you know you elevate your game to he's going to go over there and he's going to take the jump shot, or he's going to go left and beat me off the dribble. And you know it, and you still can't stop it. That's the fun part when you watch younger players. What do they add to their games?